Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.
Welcome in to another edition of Sports Junkies. Time to talk Bucks basketball. I'm Steve Sparky, Fifer of Sports Radio.
I love that enthusiasm.
1250 WSSP. He is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times.
Aren't you happy I'm back with you after a 1 week sabbatical?
Greg Thiessen did a nice job last week talking a little Bucks basketball.
He did a solid job.
Yeah, he did a nice job filling in for you.
Let's not get carried away with
He's
this.
no Gery Woelfel.
Well,
that makes you feel better.
Thank God he isn't.
Yeah, that's good. All right, let's talk a little about where we're at right now. Caron Butler, no longer a Buck. He's been bought out by the Bucks, which begs the question.
This might be the most depressing day of my Bucks career.
Depressing?
Absolutely. My guy is leaving town.
Can you tell me why your guy couldn't have been moved at the deadline?
Well, they would have had to take stuff back, and I'm sure the Bucks didn't want to take anything back except young players, you know, in line of what they're trying to do, rebuilding. And nobody was going to give up a good young player to.
How about a second-round pick?
I don't even know if they would have. Well, they would have had to take back cash.
Cash to make matches.
So I'm sure the Bucks didn't want to do it. And what this does also, it gives Caron, and I give the Bucks organization credit. This gives Caron the option of going where he wants to go,
which they should do for Ramon Sessions, which they should do for Jeff Adrian. But that's another story.
You know, and I have bittersweet feelings about this because I'm happy for Caron that he gets a chance. He's going to get a chance to be on a championship team.
Miami,
and you know, Racine could have 2 players on championship teams this year.
2.
Yeah.
Maragos?
There you go.
Yeah. Chris Maragos. Yep.
But at the same time, I really think he influenced a lot of guys in that short amount of time in Milwaukee. I mean, he's a classy guy. I was talking to somebody in the Bucks PR department about a week ago, and he said at that point, he said, we've never had a guy that was more amenable to going out and doing public affairs. He never said no. He was always willing to cooperate and help the Bucks organization. You know, and I think that we're, you know, shows off with the younger players. And they say, hey, if Caron's doing this at age 33, hey, we can do it too.
Sure.
So I think, you know, in that short amount of time, he made it definitely a favorable impression with a lot of players.
Well, he wasn't that good on the basketball floor.
He had his moments.
I mean, had his moments.
Yeah,
I give you that. He had a few games.
38 points, which is the highest that any player scored on that team.
That's great.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is he wasn't exactly consistent. And to his point, it didn't play out the way he thought it was going to play out either. He didn't get the minutes he thought he was going to get. This ended up being a total disaster of a year for the Bucks. So he moves on. Good luck to Caron, and hope you go win a ring. Now, what this means for the Milwaukee Bucks.
That was said with sincerity.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks now. Butler's gone. Do they go down to the D-League and find another body, a young guy that might be a part of this team?
Sure. Something I was just going to tweet out in a little bit. They're looking at a young player.
Tiny Gallon.
I'm not sure who. They're looking at several guys, but they're looking at D-Leaguers. And here's the one that was kind of surprised me. They're possibly going to pick up a player from overseas and sign him to a 10-day contract. Get a look-see at the guy, and then
he's going to fly in from overseas.
Possibly,
for 10 days.
Yeah, I don't know what they have in mind. Maybe they're going to give him some assurance that he might be with the team going forward. So they obviously have somebody in mind over there because it was mentioned to me. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're going to go down to the D League and the conversations. No. It was a possibility of a foreign player coming in.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
It will be a young player, though. I mean, it's not going to be like a 30-year-old guy that's just collecting a paycheck overseas.
Do we know any idea of what positions they're looking for?
No, I think they're open.
They're open to whatever it may be. This whole Ramon Sessions thing is irritating me. I'm just going to be honest with you. I love Ramon, superstar in waiting. I called him when they first had him. But for the life of me, I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing, that being John Hammond. We just talked to John Hammond on the Big Show. We just had the interview. It's up on our website. He said pretty much that he's going to get his minutes. He's going to get his 20, 25 minutes, whatever. And that he might be a part of the future for this Bucks team going forward past this year.
He will be a part of the Bucks future. I'm saying that now.
So, hold on.
We have a show to do yet. So
I need to rewind. Who's playing point guard for this team next year?
I would imagine it's going to be Brandon Knight.
So Ramon's going to be the backup.
I think he's going to be the third guard. You know, now again.
So they're going to rotate him, Walters, and Knight.
And Mayo. And Mayo's in the mix, too. Mayo's probably going to be their starting shooting guard next year. If they can get rid of him, and there's no guarantee they're going to get rid of him. In fact, I would say the odds, unless they package him with another player, the odds are slim.
You think Mayo could start for this team next year?
Yes, I do.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I do. I mean, they invest. I mean, Steve, they went out and...
Oh, I know. They paid him stupid money.
They gave him a 3-year guaranteed contract, I think, for $24 million. So, I mean,
what are the odds he's going to show up in shape next year?
It better be pretty good. I think, I don't know. Right now, I would say the odds are pretty good. I think he got the message that, he has to come, which is ridiculous.
He's getting paid either way.
Oh,
if he shows up out of shape, still getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
If he shows up in shape, still get same money, no difference.
But he is in good shape right now, and as he
he should be. He was out for like a month.
Yeah. No, I'm not arguing it. I thought, we talk about professionalism and leadership with Caron Butler. I think O.J. Mayo had a chance to come in and do the same thing. And that's why I'm saying you can't put a value on leadership in the locker room. I thought when Kurt Thomas was here a couple of years ago.
In Stackhouse.
In Stackhouse. But Kurt Thomas in particular, I mean, he was a forceful locker room figure. And he kept guys in check, and he helped them, on the court, off the court. I saw that with Caron. But O.J., man, this is his opportunity now. I mean, he's basically one of the veterans on the team. He and Zaza, if he doesn't do it now, they got some issues going forward.
Well, I'm fine losing next year. You know me. I'm more than fine losing next year.
They won't be fine losing next year.
I'm great with losing next year. That should be the mantra next year of we're going to do this again. Except this time we're going to prepare to do it the right way. Because this year they fell backwards into it. They didn't try to do this. This wasn't the design goal of what happened.
And it's not
Philadelphia, they've got this designed to do what they're doing.
Absolutely.
This is not what the Bucks designed.
No, not at all. But think of this, Steve. How can you say that they're going to tank next year? Sanders will start at center because he's not going anywhere.
But we don't know who he is yet.
Well, we saw. I
mean, we had one good year in his entire career.
Well, let's say he plays solidly. I mean, he played well the last couple games before he got hurt again. Okay. Then at forward, you got Ilyasova and Henson, 2 veteran players now. Okay, that's 2-year spot. The third spot is probably going to go to Giannis or Parker or whoever they decide to bring in, Wiggins. Okay, if they keep Mayo, he's going to be there at the 2. Sessions is going to play big minutes at the 1. Brandon Knight is now going to be going into his 4th season. How can you say this team's going to be bad? It's going to be somewhere in the middle of the Eastern Conference.
No way.
All these guys are going to be bad again next year?
No. I'm telling you, no. I don't. First of all, let's go over some of these guys. Sanders didn't progress. Yeah, maybe worse. So that we don't know what he's going to be. How much it has Henson
But you know
progressed?
what? But then you still have Zaza behind him, and he's a veteran guy.
Fine, but wait a second. How much has Henson progressed?
I think
from year 1 to year 2, how much better did he get?
I think he's definitely better. He's more confident in the paint with his hook shots, and he's turned into being a shot blocking machine. He's one of the top 5, 6 shot blockers in the league.
He was a shot blocker last year.
Not to the extent this year.
So you think he's improved?
Oh,
how much more does he improve between this year and next year?
I think a lot. I do. He's going to get bigger. There is no doubt in my mind he's going to put on another 10 to 15 pounds over the next 2-3 years. And if he does that, he's going to be a great player.
Okay, so he's got confidence in Henson. Giannis, in my mind, is the biggest factor here. How much improvement does he have from year 1 to year 2? How much does he improve? How much of a jump is there in his game? Because if there's not a significant jump to where the average fan goes, oh, yeah, he's way better than he was. If that doesn't happen, that's going to put him in a tough situation because you are going to have that young player coming in. If it's Wiggins or Parker, okay, you're going to get a score. Fine. But if you take Embiid, that's a project. And you're going to have to take your time. You're not going to get that 20-point night score right away.
And the other thing you got to factor in with Embiid, the Bucks are going to be paying Larry Sanders $11 million a year next year.
I think if they get
for the next 4 years.
Maybe I'm wrong.
They're going to hold on to him for 2 years because nobody's going to touch him.
If they get Embiid, I think Henson's a goner.
Could be, yeah. They could trade him.
I think that's what
I totally agree. But all of a sudden, you're going to have a lot of money invested on 2 guys up front. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, because the number 1 pick is going to get a ton of money.
Right.
Okay.
But at least it's slotted and it's all structured, so it's not going to be some crazy amount. We all know what every slot is.
Yeah.
So that's at least good. Brandon Knight, your guy.
He's definitely my guy. There was never any doubt, but
he's proven he can score.
All
right, so that's the end of that discussion because you never really saw this in Detroit. So now you've proven you can score the basketball. Now the percentages are kind of like this a little bit, but he's proven he can score. The assist-to-turnover ratio appears to be getting better. He has his nights where it's horrible.
Wait. It's a lot better.
Right. But throughout the course of the year.
He had games early in the season where he had 7
turnovers.
Exactly. You have not seen that in the last 3-4 weeks.
No, he's played much better.
I mean, he has 5 turnovers, and those games are going to happen. But for the most part, I'll bet the vast majority of games he's been under 2 or 3 turnovers a game. And he's still scoring 20-plus, and he's playing good defense. Not great defense, but good defense. He is, from an all-around package, so much better than Jennings, it's not even funny.
Okay, fine. Now, can he create for others? That's the step that he needs to take, I think, this offseason.
Yeah, you know what?
He needs to take that next step.
And you know what? Again, I would say you're absolutely right after the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. He has made some, I'm not saying good passes, I'm saying great passes in the last 2 weeks. He has become much more aware of it. In fact, he told me after a game about a week ago, I asked him, I said, where do you need to improve? He goes, I got to make my teammates better. And I'm telling you, he is a really...
All right, good. He gets it.
Maybe the biggest reason I like him is he's a bright guy. I mean, he is, from a composure standpoint, from a maturity standpoint, he's got to be one of the top 3 guys in that locker room.
Well, that makes me happy hearing what you just said.
He's not a 20-year-old kid. He's like a 32-year-old kid. Very, very poised.
Well, that's good. I like hearing that. If he understands what he has to do going forward, then that makes it all the better.
I'll tell you one little tidbit, too, about leadership. Ramon Sessions came in, and Ramon has no ego at all. He'll do whatever.
Never has.
No, I mean, just a really good person.
Yep.
But he said after his first game, he said Brandon was struggling in the stretch, and he came walking out to the huddle with his head down. He said, Brandon, get that head up. You're the leader of this team. You know, if you show that kind of attitude, it's going to trickle down to the other guys. And that's why Ramon Sessions can't help this team as well. I mean, besides on the court. But it's little things like that. If he can make Brandon Knight a better player, that's a big plus.
I'm going to tell you where the rub's going to be with fans. Mm-hmm. There is a growing fan base that likes Nate Walters.
Absolutely, including me.
The rub is going to be him losing minutes to a guy that fans don't see as a part of this team going forward in Sessions. Now, if they come out and they sign Sessions to like a 3-year deal this offseason, fans are going to lose their mind. But I'm just forewarning you at the Bucks general manager's office, you are going to have them being very, very upset if this happens. So if you're going to do this, then you better figure out what you're going to do with Nate Walters.
Yeah, you know it's crazy, too. Nate Walters and Ramon Sessions have the same agent.
Really?
Can you imagine what's going through his mind? I mean, he's obviously pushing for Nate Walters to
play more.
Yeah, get some traction in this league. But yet he has Ramon, who he's been with for several years.
Now again, in fairness to the Bucks, Walters the last 2 games hasn't played a lot, but he's had that ankle issue. So we'll see how long the ankle issue lasts going forward.
I'll tell you what, I'd have a 4-guard rotation. But I mean, Brandon Knight's got to play close to 35 minutes. This guy has a chance to be really good. In my mind, he's good already.
If you think O.J. Mayo is going to be with this team going forward, then you did not need Ramon Sessions. You could have started Knight and Walters. When one comes out, Mayo could have went in, the other slides to the point guard. When that point guard goes out, the other point guard comes back in. When that guy's ready, Mayo goes out, the other one comes back in. You could have ran with a 3-guard lineup and been just fine for the rest of the year without having Sessions on that team taking minutes. Yeah. And if you're going, well, what am I going to do if somebody else gets hurt? Fine, go down the D-League, sign Vanderbilt for the rest of the year. I don't care.
No, don't sign Vanderbilt for the rest of the year.
He plays if somebody gets hurt.
I totally disagree with that.
He plays if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean, you understand what I'm saying.
I know what you're
Just
saying.
go get a young point guard, and you're going to play if somebody gets hurt. Otherwise, these 3 are going to be our guard rotation.
No, it's going to be interesting to see the progression of Nate Walters. I mean, he has surpassed everybody's expectations.
And again, he's a better scorer than you've seen. I'm telling you right now.
No, he's a good player. He almost went. I mean, this is a story that hasn't come out yet. He almost went with the 21st pick to Utah.
Really?
You know how Utah made a draft day trade, and they moved up to get Trey Burke?
Yep.
They were setting their sights on taking
Nate Walters
at 21, which is a pretty high pick.
Now, it would have been a really high pick.
Because he trickled down into the second round. But, I mean, people around the league know he's got talent. You know? Whether he can ever be, consistent starter, who knows. But he's definitely going to be here for a while.
He's Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer. One quick nugget. Do you realize that Ersan Ilyasova, your guy, is the only player from the 06 draft that is still on his original team? From
the whole draft? That is a nugget. Okay, where did you get it?
Twitter.
Wait a sec, double check it.
Twitter.
I'll double check that.
That's amazing.
That is
It's not surprising.
Wait,
though.
wait.
The way the NBA
from
Racine's draft, he's the only player still on his original team.
Wow, that's incredible.
But think about all the guys that were in that draft. They all moved through free agency, whatever else. Nobody ever stays with the same team. All your top players. So you do that research and let me know if I'm right.
And by next summer, there won't be anybody on the same team.
I didn't think he'd be here past the deadline, so
there
we'll
you
see.
go.
He's Gery Woelfel. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Sports Junkies, talking Bucks basketball. Time now for this special word from this guy.
It is very special. Have you received your insurance policies lately?
Yeah.
The question of the day.
Yeah.
If not, you could be missing out on some huge savings.
I could?
Yeah, you could pay me for taking you down to the airport tonight.
Oh, we will.
Steve
Tim Allen
Fifer,
and I will.
the father of Sparky, Steve Fifer, and Shannon Fergus Munns of Farmers Insurance are happy to help with your free needs analysis. Call 262-652-8088 for a free coverage. Steve Fifer Farmers Agency is a company you can trust.
Not for free coverage. Free
No,
in-home consultation.
exactly.
Yeah, you said free coverage.
See,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not free coverage.
But call
You're
today.
going to have to pay for your coverage.
The number again is 262-652-8088. How's that for a rookie, huh?
Thanks, Gary.